Hello everybody, welcome to the session. This is your Banu Prakash. And today in this lecture I would like to explain about our first unit. So before entering to the first unit I would like to explain about the objectives which are required for this course. So the objective of this course is introducing the concept of electric and magnetic fields and applications of electric cell. What is the first of the objective? Objective number one is introducing the concept of electric field and magnetic field. See, the second objective is the applications of electric and magnetic fields in the theory of power transmission. In power transmission lines, the electric and magnetic field concept plays a very important role. So, where this subject is required, These are the two objectives of this course. What is the course name? The course name is electromagnetic fields. Okay, see, now we will see the outcomes. Outcomes. This is your course objectives. See, what is the outcome? After completion of this subject, as a student, you should understand the basic laws of electromagnetism. As a student, you should be able to understand the basic laws of electromagnetism. What are the basic laws of electromagnetism here? In this subject, you are going to learn about what is the first law which we are going to study in this unit, that is Coulomb's law. These are the basic laws for electromagnetic field theory. And Gauss law, Biot-Savart's law, Fourth one is Ampere's circular law, and these laws you are studied under the static electric field concept. Static electric and magnetic fields concept. And in addition to these four laws, you are going to study about the basic laws of Faraday's laws. These laws you are going to study under the time varying fields concept. These four laws are under time varying fields, and Faraday's laws studied under the time varying fields. Okay. So, as a student, after completion of this subject, you should be able to understand these basic laws. These are the basic laws. Okay. Now, the next one is obtain. Second one is obtain the electric and magnetic fields. Magnetic fields for different configurations. Different configurations means, see, if we take a straight conductor which is having finite length, that means it is measurable. Okay, so as it is a conductor, it is carrying a current. So whenever this conductor is carrying current, what will happen? It produces a magnetic field. So around this conductor, what will happen? A magnetic field is created. So on the magnetic field line, at any point, we are going to calculate the field intensity. Okay, this is what is the meaning of your second outcome. Obtain the electric and magnetic fields for different configurations. That means different configurations means straight conductor. In straight conductor, we have two types: finite length of conductor, infinite length of conductor. Similarly, for charged circular ring and charged circular disc. Okay, like this. And coaxial cable, we have different configurations. For those different configurations, it is required to obtain the electric and magnetic fields. Okay, next, the third one is understand time varying fields. Understand the time varying fields for different media. For different media. The last one is the last objective. Last objective, it is under the fifth unit. That fifth unit is having electromagnetic waves. Okay. So understanding the propagation of understand the propagation of waves. Understand the propagation of waves. These are your objectives for this course. First two are objectives for this course, and these four are outcomes for this course. Okay? What is the meaning of objective? Objective is introducing the subject. And what is the outcome? Outcome is after completion of this course, you should able to understanding and obtaining some quantities like this. So now, what are the prerequisites to learn this subject, to learn this course? You need some prerequisites. Prerequisites means what are the subjects which are required to understand the subject. So prerequisites. So to understand or to learn this subject, to learn this course, you require mathematics. You require mathematics 2. So in mathematics 2, you specially focus on ordinary differentiation. Ordinary differentiation is required, and multivariable calculus. And one more subject is should have basic knowledge on applied physics. If you have basic knowledge on these two subjects, this course is very easy to understand. Okay, now we will see the first unit topics. See, your first unit is about static electric field. Okay. Now, see, I already explained about the meaning of field. What is the meaning by field? Field is nothing but a force or lines of forces which are created by electrical charges or magnetism. Okay, and if a field is created by electrical charges, that means from positive charge or negative charge, that field is said to be your electric field. And what about magnetic field? The field or lines of forces is produced by the magnetism or permanent magnet. It is called as a magnetic field. Okay, now suppose if you take a positive charge here, okay, positive charge, electrical charge, what will happen? It produces is 4 electric field lines around it. Now see, as this charge is under rest position, it is not moving, it is not varying with respect to time. So as this electric field is produced by the static charge, as this electric field, which field it is? Is it electric field or magnetic field? It is electric field. Why? Because it is produced by the electrical charges. Okay, so as this field is produced by the charge which is in rest position or static position, so that's why this field is called as what field? Static electric field. Okay, suppose if this charge is moving with respect to time, now such charge is called as moving charge. Moving charge produces what? Magnetic field. Moving charge produces magnetic field. And if that moving charge is causing magnetic field due to the electrical charges, such field is called as electromagnetic field. That is our course. Now we will focus mainly on this static electric field only in this unit. What is this field? Is it a static electric field or dynamic electric field? Static electric field. Why? Because this charge is under rest position. It is not varying with respect to time. Okay. Now see the contents and the topics which are there in this subject is review of conversation of a vector from one coordinate system to another coordinate system. Another coordinate system. Okay. And second one is about Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. It is a very important topic in the first unit. The mainly questions asked in the previous examinations are based on this law only. Now, electric field intensity. EFI or E bar. Okay. Now, electric field intensity due to different configurations we will study under this topic. Okay. That means E bar due to finite length of conductor, E bar due to infinite length of conductor, E bar due to E bar. So from now onwards, I will call this electric field intensity as E bar. I am not calling with the complete name electric field intensity. I will call only with E bar. So electric field intensity due to charge circles, so on so forth, etc. Next we have very important topic, that is Gauss law and its applications. Okay, next one is about potential. Okay, now last one is about electrostatic energy, and last topic is about electric dipole. These are the topics which are going to study under your first unit. Now, in this class, I would like to start about this review of conversion of a vector from one coordinate system to another coordinate system. So, in the previous lecture, I discussed about the different coordinate systems which we have. Okay, so what are the different coordinate systems we have? That is, one is rectangular coordinate system or Cartesian coordinate system. Second one is circular cylindrical system. Third one is about spherical coordinate system. Okay. Now, in this topic, if you consider a vector A bar in Cartesian coordinate system, how this vector is changes in cylindrical coordinate system. Okay. Similarly, how this vector is changes to, if you write the same vector in spherical coordinate system, how we will write. That is the meaning of your review of conversion of a vector from one coordinate system to another coordinate system. Okay. So to understand this review of conversion of vector from one coordinate system to another coordinate system, let us try to solve the conversion of a vector from rectangular coordinate system to cylindrical coordinate system. Okay. So I am solving here a rectangular conversion of a rectangular coordinate system to cylindrical coordinate system. Okay. See. So let us take a vector. Let's take a vector A bar, capital A bar, in the rectangular coordinate system or Cartesian coordinate system. How we will represent the vector in the rectangular coordinate system? The rectangular coordinate system, the axes which are used in the rectangular coordinate system are x comma, y comma, z z. Okay. Then what are the coordinates which are used in the cylindrical coordinate system? Rho comma phi comma z are the coordinates which are used in the cylindrical coordinate system. Okay. So now here I am writing a vector in the rectangular coordinate system. It is represented by ax bar, ax bar plus ay bar plus az and az bar. Okay. Similarly, writing the same vector in the rectangular coordinate system. Okay. Similarly, they consider the same vector in the cylindrical coordinate system. Cylindrical coordinate system. In cylindrical coordinate system, the axes which are used to represent the cylindrical coordinate system are rho comma phi comma z. So that's why you have to consider a magnitude on the rho axis, that is a rho bar, and unit vector along the rho axis is a rho bar plus a phi bar. Next, plus last axis is az and az bar. Okay. Now see, to convert a vector which is in the Cartesian coordinate system, a vector a bar which is in the Cartesian coordinate system is required to convert to the cylindrical coordinate system. That means it is necessary, it is required to calculate this arrow, a phi, az bar. Okay. Now see, I am calculating arrow bar in terms of rectangular coordinate system. Okay. So arrow bar I am writing like this. Arrow equals to a bar into dot small arrow bar. So how I wrote this expression? It is from the properties of dot product. From the dot product, if you want to calculate a vector, okay, if you want to calculate any vector, it is the vector component along its unit vector. It is the dot product of a vector. It is the dot product of a vector along the unit vector. It is the second property in our dot products. Okay. So now in the next step, I am calculating arrow is equals to what is a bar? A bar in the rectangular coordinate system. It is in the rectangular coordinate system. Ax bar. Consider it is equation 1 and it is equation 2. Okay. So ax bar plus ay bar plus az bar. Dotted. It is not multiplication, it is a dot into dot arrow bar. Now the next step, do the dot product between each component. See here we have 3 terms. The next step, do the dot product with each and every term. Okay. Now see, a row is equals to ax bar dotted with arrow bar. Okay. First of all, I did the dot product between ax bar and arrow bar. Similarly, do the dot product between ay bar and arrow bar. Similarly, az bar with arrow bar plus ay bar dot arrow bar plus az bar dot arrow bar. Okay. Now see, from the definition of our dot product, if you have two vectors like a bar and d bar, so how can you define this dot product? It is the magnitude of a bar, magnitude of d bar, and cos of the angle between a bar and B bar. So from this definition, okay, we should calculate the dot product between Ax bar, A rho bar, Ay, A rho bar, Az bar, A rho bar. Okay. So see, whenever we are going to calculate the dot product between the unit vectors, the angle is required. Angle between Ax and A rho bar is required. So to get the angle, just take x comma y comma z axis. It is the x axis, y axis and z axis. Okay, represent a point P of x comma y comma z in the system. Okay, now represent the same point in the cylindrical coordinate system. Okay, how can you represent the same point in the cylindrical coordinate system? See, just I am drawing and project, I am drawing x comma y point initially. So how will you draw the x comma y points? X units distance on the x axis. Okay, for this x comma y comma z point, x units distance on the x axis, y units distance on the y axis. So if you join these 2 points, you will get x comma y point initially. So from here, if you go in the direction of the z axis, you will get a point of x comma y comma z like this. That means this is the point of x comma y comma z. Now represent the same point in the cylindrical coordinate system. In the cylindrical coordinate system, the axes which are used to represent rho comma phi comma z, where rho is the radius of cylinder, phi is the angle of angle is making from xz plane, and z is the z axis units distance. Okay, now see, project the point P of x comma y comma z on xy plane. Okay, why? Because the units in the Cartesian coordinate system and cylindrical coordinate system, z axis units are same. So that's why I am representing x comma y comma z point on xy plane. Okay. Now see or observe carefully here how I am representing x comma y point on the xy plane. Similarly, rho comma phi on the xy plane. Okay. So see, what is this length? It is, see, like this. You are having your cylinder like this. This is your cylinder. Is it or not? This is your cylinder. That means this up to from the center of the cylinder to the surface of the cylinder is called as your radius. That means up to here, from the origin to this point is radius of the cylinder, and it is represented by rho. Okay, so what is the angle between? This is your half plane. It is making an angle with the xz plane, and it is phi. Okay. Now see, what is this point? This point is rho comma phi point. Rho comma phi. In the Cartesian coordinate system, it is x comma y point. Okay. Now see here. A rho bar is a unit vector which is oriented along the radius of the cylinder, and A phi bar is a unit vector which is oriented along the in the direction of phi or tangential to the cylinder. Next, Az bar is in the direction of z axis. So that means here I consider my unit vector A rho bar is in the direction of radius of cylinder. It is A rho bar, and your phi is moving in this direction. See, in this direction like this. It is moving in the anti-clockwise direction like this. So that's why I am taking the A phi bar here. It is my A phi bar. Okay, and where Az bar is in upward direction. Okay, now see, I am not representing Az bar. Why? Because Az bar is there in the Cartesian system and cylindrical system. The next, I want to represent the unit vectors in the rectangular coordinate system. In the rectangular coordinate system, what is the unit vectors? Ax bar is the unit vector. It is Ax bar, and it is Ay bar. For simple understanding purpose, I am taking x comma y axis like this. See, where here in this diagram I consider my x axis, y axis, z axis anti-clockwise direction like this. But for simple understanding purpose, I am taking x axis here. See, I am changing the axes. Here I consider the x axis, but here I am considering x axis here and y axis here, and my z axis is in this direction. Why? Because the three axes are mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay. Now, like this, x axis and y axis. Okay. See, the same point in the xy plane here in this diagram, I am representing the same point here. Okay. See how this point will be. Let us consider the point is in this location. Okay. So this point is, it is a small row distance from the origin, like this. See where it is. This line is there in between the x comma y axis. See here I have x axis here, y axis here. So this is the mid line, mid point, like this. And where is your arrow bar? Arrow bar is in this direction. This is your arrow bar. Okay. Now what is the angle phi? The phi is making an angle with respect to x axis. See, x axis to the row line. So this is my x axis and it is. So that means this is my phi. Okay. Next, arrow bar is there. We have. What about ax? This is my ax. And where is my ay? This is my ay. Ay bar is in the direction of y axis. Ax bar in the direction of x axis. So now we have ax, ay in the Cartesian coordinate system, and we have arrow bar in the cylindrical coordinate system, and we missed one more component, that is a phi bar. A phi bar is in the direction of what? Like this. See, how should we represent the a phi bar here? See, as the angle between arrow bar and a phi bar is 90 degrees, we should draw the ay component 90 degrees to this component, 90 degrees to a phi bar. This is my a phi bar. Now tell me the angles. See, as the angle between ax and arrow is phi here, see the angle between ax bar and a phi bar is phi. Okay, and as the angle between ax and ay is 90 degrees, ax and ay is 90 degrees. If you subtract phi from this 90 degrees, you will get this angle. This is your 90 minus phi. Okay, and what is the angle between ay and a phi? See, up to here, angle between arrow and a phi is the 90 degrees. So what is the angle? This one, 90 minus phi. So if you subtract this 90 minus phi from 90 degrees, you will get this angle. See, I am subtracting here. So I have angle 90 degrees between a phi and arrow. So I am subtracting it from 90 minus phi. If you subtract this angle, 90 minus phi. So 90 minus 90 is 0, minus into minus plus. So that's why it is a phi, angle phi. Understand? Okay. Now see, I am projecting this a axis in the negative direction. So it is minus ax bar. Similarly, minus ay bar, and it is minus a phi bar. Now tell me the angle between ax and a phi is here. As the angle between arrow and a phi 90 degrees, again we have to subtract it from phi. So that's why it is 90 minus phi, and it is again phi. And the angle between this one is 90 degrees, 90 minus phi. Okay. Now we will try to calculate the angle between ax and arrow. Consider it is equation number 3. Consider equation number 3. Okay, see, I am calculating the dot product between from equation 3, from equation 3, the dot product between ax bar dot a rho bar. So from the definition, from the definition of dot product is the magnitude of ax bar, magnitude of a rho bar, cos of the angle between ax bar and a rho. What is the angle between ax bar and a rho bar? See here, angle between ax bar and a rho bar. Where is my ax bar? This is the ax bar and it is a rho bar. Angle between ax and a rho bar is phi. From the figure, phi. So it is phi. And what is the magnitude of unit vector? It is 1 and it is 1. So 1 into 1 into cos phi. That means dot product between ax bar and a rho bar becomes ax bar dot a rho bar is equals to cos phi. Similarly, calculate ay bar and a rho bar, az bar and a rho bar. What is the dot product between ay bar and a rho bar? Is also magnitude of ay bar, magnitude of a rho bar. What is the angle between cos of the angle between ay and a rho? Where is ay? This is my ay. It is my a rho. Angle between ay and a rho is 90 minus 5. Cos 90 minus 5. It is cos 90 minus 5 sin. So 1 into 1 into it is 1. It is 1. Why? Magnitude of unit vector is 1. Is equals to sin phi ay bar dot a rho bar. Okay. Similarly, az bar dot a rho bar is equals to, what is the angle between az and a rho? Az and a rho. Where is az? This is my az. See, this is our az. And where is our a rho? A rho is like this. That means the angle between az and a rho is 90 degrees. So, magnitude of az bar, magnitude of a rho bar, and cos of the angle between az and a rho is 90 degrees. So it is 0. 0 into something 0. So az bar dot a rho bar is equals to 0. Like this. Okay. Now substitute all these dot product values in the equation 3. Okay. So if you substitute it, a rho is equals to ax into what is the dot product between ax and a rho? Is cos phi plus ay into sin phi. Yes, sin phi plus az into 0. Consider it is equation number 4. Equation number 4. Remember. So now I have calculated a rho, okay, which is the first coordinate in our cylindrical coordinate system. What is the second coordinate axis? This a phi bar. To calculate a phi bar from the dot product, applications of properties of dot product. To calculate this vector, this component, we have to do the dot product between a vector and its component. What is the component? Is a phi bar. Okay, so write the expression for a bar from equation 1. That is ax into ax bar plus ay into ay bar plus az into az bar and dotted over a phi bar. Okay, now see, calculate the dot product between ax bar dotted with a phi bar plus ay into ay bar dot a phi bar plus Az into Az bar dot A5 bar. And tell me the angle between the AX and A5. What is the angle between AX and A5? This is my AX and A5. It is the 90 plus 5. Up to here 90. AX and A5 is 90 and plus 5. So cos 90 plus 5. It is minus sin 5. So minus the AX into minus. See, I am writing directly here. Please try to understand. Magnitude of AX, magnitude of AY, cos of the angle between AX and A5. Angle between AX is here, AY is here. Up to it is 90 degrees. 90 and here remaining angle is 5. So 90 plus 5. Cos 90 plus 5 is minus sin 5. Next, plus AY into angle between AY and A5. It is AY and A5 is 5. So it is cos 5 plus Az into Az and A5. Az is here, Az is this one, and A5 is here, 90 degrees angle. So 0. Consider the equation number 5. It is the equation number 5. Similarly, do for no, it is not required. Az. What is the other component? It is Az. Az is the same for cylindrical and Cartesian coordinates, so that's why it is 0 plus AY into 0 plus Az into 1. It is equation number 6. From 4 and 5, 6. From 4 and 5 and 6. When you write the right from equation 4 and from equation 4, 5, 6. Write the equation 4, 5, 6 is in matrix form. So what are the right hand components? A row, A5, Az. That's why I am writing like this. A row, A5 and Az equals to C. What are the variables in the left hand side of this equation? Variables are Ax, Ay, Az. So variables are Ax, Ay, Az. Okay. So as we have 3 equations and 3 terms, it is a 3 by 3 matrix. So what is the first component for Ax variable? It is a cos phi. So cos phi into Ax into cos phi. Next we have sin phi. Next 0. And the next equation we have minus sin phi, cos phi and 0. And here 0, 0, 1. Okay? Please remember this matrix form for the conversion of a vector from Cartesian to cylindrical. Roman number 1. Okay. Now see, if you calculate the transformation of vector from cylindrical to Cartesian, cylindrical to Cartesian. The transformation of a vector from Cartesian to cylindrical. Okay, so in this expression, in the problem you may have the data about Cartesian system, and it is required to calculate cylindrical. Okay, Cartesian to cylindrical. Now similarly, we have second transformation, that is transformation of a vector from transformation of a vector from reverse. That means transformation of vector from cylindrical coordinate system to rectangular coordinate system. So same case. So in this problem he is given the information about cylindrical coordinate system and it is required to calculate the rectangular coordinate system. So the rectangular coordinate system, the axes which are used to develop the system are x comma, phi comma, z, and here rho comma, phi comma, z. Okay. Now see, in this conversion I would like to calculate about ax. So ax, if you want to calculate the magnitude of x-axis ax, it should be the dot product of a vector which is within the cylindrical coordinate system dotted with the ax one. Why? Because you are calculating the ax, so that's why here it should be ax1. So similarly, same as the initial explanation. So here we should consider the vector in cylindrical coordinate system, that is a rho into a rho bar plus a phi into a phi bar plus az into az bar dot ax bar. A rho bar dot ax bar plus a phi bar dot ax bar plus az bar. Sorry. A rho into a rho bar dot ax bar bracket plus a phi bar dot ax bar. Next az into az bar dot ax bar. What is the angle between a rho and ax? A rho and ax. This is a rho and ax. It is a phi. So that's why a rho into cos phi is. Similarly, a phi into angle between a phi and ax. Where is a phi? Ax is minus sin phi. Anyway, az into 0. Why? Because angle between az and ax is 90 degrees. Cos 90 is 0. So consider it is equation number in this transformation. In this transformation is considered as equation number 1. Next, similarly go for calculation of ay. And see, I am doing directly here. A rho into a rho dot ay bar plus a phi into a phi dot ay bar plus az into az bar dot ay bar. Well, angle between a rho and ay is, where is the a rho? This one. Ay is this one. 90 minus phi. Cos 90 minus phi is sin phi. So that's why a rho into sin phi plus a phi is cos phi and it is 0. And anyway is equation number 2 ay, and finally we have az. Anyway it is 0 plus 0 plus az. Equation number 3. From 1 to 3. From 1 to 3. I am writing the 1, 2, 3 equations in matrix form. Matrix form a x a y a z equals to tell me for ax from equation 1. So ax is having variables a rho, a phi, az. Equation 2 also we have a rho, a phi, az. Equation 3 also a rho, a phi, az. So the variables are what? A rho, a phi, and az are the variables. The constant in the equation from equation 1 cos phi. next minus sin phi 0, next sin phi, and it is cos phi 0, 0, 0, 1. Please remember this transformation also. It is Roman number 2. Like this, we have 6 conversations. So up to now we have completed transformation of a vector from rectangular coordinate system to cylindrical coordinate system and cylindrical coordinate system to rectangular coordinate system. Okay, now we'll see the third transformation. Can you tell me what is the third transformation? Up to now we have completed the transformation of a vector from Cartesian to cylindrical, cylindrical to Cartesian, or Cartesian to rectangular, or rectangular to